Hi everyone, my name is Marie Howell. I'm a physical therapist, a Pilates instructor, and a member here at Burks United Methodist Church. I'm going to go through a Pilates workout with you today that is a pretty basic Pilates class. All of it is on the mat, so this exercise program is geared towards somebody who can get up and down from the floor with or without help. And there are also some movement restrictions that I want to talk to you about if you have a diagnosis of osteoporosis or osteopenia. Some of these movements may not be safe for your spine, so I will give an alternative movement to what I'm showing you in the class that you can do instead of the full movement if you do have osteoporosis or osteopenia. So with that being said, we're going to start with movement, and the movement that we're doing here should be pain-free, sort of. You might feel some muscle stiffness and soreness, but I don't want you working through any pain, anything that makes you feel uncomfortable. And at any point you can stop and tap out. You can see me, but I can't see you, so I won't know that you're stopping. If you do have any questions about it, feel free to email me. I think Rachel has included my email address. Okay, so we're going to get started here on the mat. I have a mat on the hardwood floor, but you can lie down on your carpet. And if you want to do this on your bed, that is fine as well. Just be sure not to fall off. All right, so we're going to lie down on our backs. The first exercise that we're going to do is called the spine curl. So here we are resting on the floor. I want you to think about your feet and your knees are about a fist width apart. Your head is in a nice lengthened position. Your shoulders are open through your collarbones, and I want you to breathe in and breathe out. So most of these movements are going to involve breathing. So I want you to inhale, fully making your belly rise, and exhale, fully scooping up and in. All right? So here we go with the first exercise. So I want you to exhale as you start to tilt your pelvis and peel up into a shoulder bridge here. Take a breath in at the top, and then peel back down, reaching one vertebrae down at a time. All right, we'll repeat that. We're going to do each of these movement segments about 5 or 10 times, just to keep the workout at a good length so you guys don't lose interest. Okay, so again, this movement right here is safe for anybody, even those with osteoporosis. Just want to make sure that you're moving in such a way that is comfortable yet challenging. We're going to do about 3 more here. This is just a nice warm-up for your spine and your back muscles, your lungs, and a little bit with your legs. Just remember to stay open through your collarbones as you're moving here. Good. Okay. Nice job. All right. Now the next exercise is called the dead bug exercise. And it really is called a dying bug exercise because it's still moving. But imagine a roach on the floor and its arms and legs are wiggling. That's what this is called. All right, so you're going to be up in a position here called tabletop position. And right now I'm engaged through my abdominals. My shoulder blades are tucked down into my back pockets. And you're going to pull your belly button up and in towards your spine. Take a breath in and reach your right heel down as your left arm reaches away. And come back up to the neutral position. And then reaching again and back up. All right, so you're going to alternate this, exhaling as you reach your arm and leg out, inhaling as you return. And what I want you to focus on is keeping your back still. All right, so you shouldn't be arching or flexing your spine as you reach your leg out. And if you are, it might look like this a little bit. Then you can just move your leg a little bit less far as you dip your heel closer to your hips rather than away from your hips. Okay? And one more. Good. And when you're done, you can bring your knees back towards your, into your chest and stretch here. Okay. Now our next exercise is called the 100. And this one is challenging for me to do, to talk through and do at the same time. So bear with me. Okay. So you're going to be up in what we call the tabletop position here. And those of you with osteoporosis diagnosis, this exercise involves spinal flexion, which is this right here, where you're flexing forward. So this is probably a position you shouldn't be in. So you can leave your head down and do the same activity. Okay? So the 100 is Joseph Pilates' original exercise. It's where you're going to pump your arms 100 times while your head is up, and it really kind of gets your heart rate and your core muscles activated. So here we go. So you want to pump those arms in such a manner that you get your heart rate up as you're moving. So here we go. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And as you're pulling your head, neck, and shoulders up, you want to gaze between your knees and keep your chin kind of pulled in close towards your chest. Don't look up at the ceiling like this. Looking through your knees is the best way to do it. We're halfway there. For those of you who want to put your head down somewhere in between this, you can. Takes a little break off of the neck. Keeps your abdominals working though. All right. For those of you who are keeping up, good for you, because I'm not, but I think we're about 7 sets in. And if you want to reach your legs out like this, you can, but don't let it irritate your back or make your back arch. All right, one more set. 10. 3, 2, 1. And come on down and hug your knees into your chest. Okay, so that's the 100. Everybody did great. And we're feeling good, right? Okay. Now the next exercise that we're going to do is called a side kick exercise. So it involves rolling onto your side and propping yourself up onto your elbow like this. And as you can see from looking at me, I have my elbow directly up under my shoulder, and my ribs are not hanging down here, but they're lifted, so I'm forming this triangular shape. The collarbones are open, and my chest, that line on my chest is reaching forward onto the horizon, and my head and neck are lengthened. Okay? You want your hips to be stacked just on top of one another as if they were 2 cinder blocks, so they're not rotated one direction or the other. And if you have issues with bony hips, you might want to put a pad or something up under here. Right? You're going to pull your feet up towards you like this, and you're going to lift that top leg up and back down. And exhale as you lift up and down. You'll notice that I'm keeping the length through my trunk on the bottom here. The tendency is, as you raise your leg, is to let that trunk drop down, but try and fight it. I'm going to do one more here. You should feel a little burn work in the back of your hip and on the side of your hip. All right. Now you're going to take that leg, keep it parallel to the floor, and sweep it forward and back. Again, you want to keep the rest of your body nice and still. Make sure you're breathing. You can exhale and inhale on each movement. All right, and one more here. And come back to the center. You can rest your leg down if you need to. We're going to move on to the next direction though. You're going to lengthen your leg again. You're parallel. And you're going to do 10 circles in each direction. Again, keeping lifted up through your trunk. Your shoulder should be away from your ears. Now, let's reverse that direction. 9 and 10. Good. All right, so you can rub that hip if you want to. And then we're going to lie down and take a little break. We're going to move on to an exercise called the book opening. So for the sake of the just easiness for me, I'm going to put my hand under my head so that my head is supported. But if you have a pillow or a towel that you want to use to do that, you can. The book opening is a movement that encourages rotation through your spine and allows you to kind of open through your chest. All right. So your head's going to be elevated on something. Reach those fingertips together. Lift your hand, open through your chest. Follow your hand with your eyes and your head, keeping your hips stacked up. And then close that book back down. Okay? And I like to include a breath in as I'm coming back and open. And my reformer is in the way, but you guys will have a little bit more room to open up some more, so your hand might disappear and then come back. But I want your hand to be visible with your eyes and your head the whole time, so don't lose track of it. All right? And we're going to do one more. Perfect. Okay. Now we're going to come up and let's move over to the other side. Lost my screen here. Okay. All right, so we're going to go with the side kick again. Okay, so you're going to be lifted up through your trunk, open through your collarbones and your hips stacked. You're going to raise that leg up and down. Exhale up, inhale down. Good. So you're keeping this pulled up and in as if you're trying to zip on a tight pair of jeans. We all know that feeling, right? Especially the more days we're staying at home. I can't tell you the last time I've been in jeans since I've been quarantined at home. Good. All right, now hold your leg up in parallel. We're going to go forward and back. Okay. Now here, again, you want to try and maintain, don't fall like me. Try and maintain your nice trunk stability through here. If you want to put your hand down for balance, you're welcome to. Okay. And last one here, we're going to do our circles. So 10 in each direction. Good, and let's reverse it. Good. Nice job, everyone. Now we'll take a little rest from those hip abductors and come on down to our book opening position again. All right. So here your hips and knees are kind of pulled up like you're going to take a little nap. Your head is resting on something. You're going to reach up and over, rotate through your thoracic spine. Inhale, and then exhale as you come back. All right. So we're opening through that chest. And then closing. Okay, staying engaged through your abdominals though. Don't let those take a rest. No rest for the abs. And last one here. And come back. All right. Very good. Okay, so now we're going to come up to a position called quadruped. This exercise is actually called quadruped arm and leg reaches. So we'll be here, so you look like you are a table, okay? So my wrist creases are right under my armpits, and my kneecaps are right at the hinge of my hips, right? And I'm not arching in my back, and I'm not rounding my back. I'm trying to be just in this neutral position. Also that my head is looking down, my chin is engaged toward my throat, and the back of my neck is nice and lengthened. So here we're going to take a breath in, and then as you exhale, reach out and try and reach the opposite sides of the room while you stay nice and still in the middle. And we're going to exhale as we go to the other side as well. All right, so we'll just keep moving like this. It's not important how high you get your legs, because if you do, if your legs and arms want to do this, then you start to arch in your back. And what I want you to do is to be nice and neutral. This is a little bit of a balance exercise, a core, a little exercise, working on kind of keeping those shoulder blades down. Good. And here. Good. All right. So that was our quadruped. Now we're going to reach back into what I call the half downward dog. So if your knees will allow you and your hips do, you want to reach back, keeping your spine nice and straight. All right. Now this exercise, the downward dog, is safe for people with osteoporosis. It's a nice stretch through the hips, and it works your trunk into some extension. The opposite of this is called the child's pose, and that's the one that you don't want to do if you have osteoporosis, is because that involves some deep flexion of your spine. So you can do one of these two options here. Okay, now I must get my phone so I can get my timer up, because we're going to do, right now we're going to do a 30-second plank, okay? And I'm choosing 30 seconds because this is the first time I've worked out in a week. I've been at home with a fever, just coming out of my fog and feeling good. I'm not going to push it. But if you want to, you can do a plank for a minute or a minute and a half. You can just pause the button on the computer and then catch up to us when you finish your super long plank. Okay? So we're going to do, for our purposes, today we're going to do a plank on your forearms. Just to take pressure off of people's wrists. Okay, so here you want to get lengthened out, get your hips in a nice line. Your head is also elevated, chin towards your throat. I've already started the timer for those of you who are wondering. And you're going to keep your belly button pulled up and in towards your spine. Okay, so some of you may not be able to start with a 30-second plank, and that's totally fine. You start where you are, and then you move up from there. All right, and we're about almost there, so I want you to make sure you keep breathing. Okay? You guys are doing great. Now, come down onto your knees, take a little break, and then just lean back and stretch. Okay? That was great. So that was about 30 seconds, a little bit more. So for those of you who want to try that again and do another 30 seconds, feel free to pause, okay? But we're going to move on to our next exercise, which I need to look and see what that is. Okay. Now, we're going to move from here into an exercise on our stomachs, and it's called the prone dart, okay? So here, and this exercise is safe for all to do. You just need to do it within limitations of any back pain that you might have. Okay, so this dart exercise will help strengthen your upper back, your abdominals, and then work on your chest mobility. Right? So your legs are drawn together, toes pointing away from you, hands are face down, and your head is lifted but looking down at the mat. Okay, so you're going to take a breath in, and then lift your upper back up, reach those hands up, and find your heels with your fingertips, and then come back down. Okay, so we're going to exhale as we come up, inhale as we lower. 3 more. Exhale as you come up, inhale as you lower. 2 more. 1. Make sure you keep your chin pulled in towards your throat a little. Good. We're just going to do 1 more just for fun. Good. All right. Nice job. So you should feel some nice work in your upper back and your upper arms on that one. And now we're going to work into an exercise called swimming. Okay. And this one you may have some limitations in your shoulder flexion. Just work with what you've got though. So you're going to reach out, lengthen your arms and legs, take a breath in, and then exhale as you lift your right arm and your left leg, keeping your head elevated and gaze down at the mat. You guys are doing great. All right. So let's do 1 more on each side after this one. And here's our last. And very good. Okay, so that was called swimming, as you can tell from the motion. All right. The next exercise is called swan. Okay, so this exercise is going to help increase your mobility as well in your chest. So your hands should be right at the side of your chest or your armpits. Your elbows are tucked in, back reaching towards your hips. Your gaze is down at the mat. And you're going to take a breath in, and then exhale as you press your chest up, keeping your gaze kind of just at the front edge of the mat, and then lower back down. Okay, we'll do that again. So we're pressing mostly with the heels of your hands here. We're not using the muscles in the back of your upper back, but we're stretching them. Good. And let's do one more. And nice. Okay. Now, let's move on to a nice stretch. You can come back here and do your downward dog or your child's pose, wherever you feel the most comfortable. And then we're going to move on to an exercise called mermaid. The mermaid is where you're sitting into the Z sitting position. And you're trying to get both of your sit bones onto the mat. You want your length in your spine to be as tall as you can get it, as if somebody's pulling you toward the ceiling with the wire attached to the back of your head. Reach one arm up. And then we're going to lean over, we're going to bend over toward the leg that is in front. Okay, so you're going to get up tall, and then come over, and then come back up. So it's like a bendy straw. So you get tall, and then bend over at the waist. And now you're going to take your other arm and come back over to this side. You won't go as deeply into that side bend toward the leg that's behind you as you will on the leg that's in front. Now this motion is fine for those who have osteoporosis. So you can keep doing this for the next 2 or 3. But for those of you who don't have osteoporosis, I want you to come a little bit lower into your reach. Come down, and then reach tall toward the ceiling with your heads and your hands, and come over, and up again, and come down, and up. Staying lifted through your ribs, always remembering that you're trying to zip on a tight pair of jeans. Good, and last one. Nice. Okay, now we're going to flip our legs around and do the Z sitting in the opposite direction. Again, you want your sit bones to be touching the floor if possible, but don't force it by any means, okay? Because we are where we are, and we just work from there, okay? So, have a hand here, arm reaching up, and again, we're going to bend over toward the side that your leg is in the front. We'll go ahead and start here as well. Again, more motion toward the leg that's in front, less motion to the leg that's in back. Okay, again, for those of you who have osteoporosis, we'll stay here in this motion, and the rest of us will come on down and go further into that bend, and up and over. And one more. And good. Awesome. All right. Nice job, everybody, so far. Now we're going to go into an exercise that's called the leg pull, and it's actually kind of like a reverse plank. So your legs are going to be lengthened out in front of you, drawn together, and your hands are behind you so that you're supporting yourself with your arms on extended elbows. Okay? You'll be gazing all the way in front of you. Don't look up at the ceiling with this exercise. Just keep gazing in front of you. So this what we'll do is we're going to raise your hips up as you open through your chest, and then lower back down. All right? So we're not holding this one, but it is a reverse plank. So we're coming up here, and then back down. Okay? So exhaling on the way up. For those of you who want to, you can try and straighten the leg and lift it. Straighten the leg and lift it, and then come back down. And you might find that your hips are dropping a little bit as you raise your leg up, and that's perfectly fine. It's a progression of the exercise to be able to do that without dropping your hips. This is our last one here. And come on down. Okay, nice. Okay, now we're going to lie back down, do one more exercise called the chest lift, and then we're going to work on a plank push-up roll-up series, and then some stretches. And then we'll be done. Okay, so here, your knees are going to stay on the floor. Sorry, your feet are going to be on the floor. Your knees are in the air. Again, your knees and your feet are about a fist width apart. Hands are going to be supporting the back of your head here, right? But they're not pulling your neck. They're just supporting it. So you're going to exhale as you look up between your knees and then come back down. All right, for those of you with osteoporosis, this exercise may not be the best option for you. So in that case, what you can do is revisit our spine curl for this exercise, which I'm demonstrating right here. Okay, so it's just that curling up and curling back down. All right, for the rest of you, we're going to do a variation of this activity. So we're going to come up and back down. Again, you want to scoop up and in through your abdominals and then come back down. There's a progression of this exercise that I can share at a later date, but for today's purposes, we just want to keep it simple and a beginner's class. All right, let's do two more. And last one. Nice. Okay, so we're going to lie down straight out, reach one arm and the same leg out at opposite ends of the room. So I just want you to stretch here and breathe in. Okay, so take two big deep breaths. Okay, then reach your other leg and other arm out. Two deep breaths. Good. Come on back in. Right. Now bring your right knee towards your chest, and we're just going to pull it in here and hold. Okay, and then we'll bring this one in, pull it in here and hold. Now take your arms out to the side, bring your knees over one direction, take a couple of deep breaths. Really feel like you're opening up through your lungs. And then come back to the other side. Nice. Okay. Now we're going to come on up, roll over onto your hands and knees. And this is where you might lose me in the frame. And actually, let me get this turned on so I can see myself. All right. So if you lose my face and arms, just follow my voice, okay? And know that I'm smiling because it feels good. Okay, so we're going to be in this quadruped position. I want you to reach out into the plank. This time you're on your hands. Okay, for those of you who want to go ahead and work on some push-ups, let's do that here. You can do any number of your choice. I'm just doing two. But now from that push-up position, I want you to walk yourself back into a plank. Okay? And then a pike. And then we're going to peel up one vertebrae at a time. Except for those of you who have osteoporosis. And then you're going to hinge up, which I'll show you in just a moment. For those of you who have come up all the way and now you're ready to come back down, you can roll back down. So you're going to peel down one vertebrae at a time. Walk your hands down toward the mat. Walk yourself out into the plank again. Okay. Do a couple push-ups here. It's always good for the soul. I'm going to show you the osteoporosis plank up. So you're going to plank here. See, I'm keeping my back straight. And when I get to the point where I can no longer keep it straight, I'm going to hinge myself up. Okay? Then reach your arms over your head. Then you can hinge back down. Again, keeping your back nice and flat. Bend your knees. Get yourself down. Walk it out. Lengthen out. Push-ups. And then we're going to finish walking it up. Peeling up. And then reach your arms over your head. I'll do this. Pretend like I'm standing. And you're going to lean from one side and up tall and over to the other. Let's do one more to this side and this side. And then rotate your arms out and up and around. Taking some nice big deep breaths and really stretching, opening yourself up, getting tall through your spine. You're going to roll those shoulders back. Take a nice deep breath, and we're all done. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed that workout. I sure did. It's good to move, and it's good to see you guys, or to be seen by you guys, and I hope that we get to see each other in person very soon. If you want some more exercise tips, feel free to email me. I'm happy to talk anytime because, like I said, I'm quarantined at home for the next 5 or 6 days. Okay, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.